January 25th, Exodus 22, 23, and 24. Exodus 24. When a man steals an ox or a sheep, and shall slaughter it or sell it, he repays 5 cattle for an ox, and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief is found breaking in, and he is struck so that he dies, there is no guilt for his bloodshed. If the sun has risen on him, there is guilt for his bloodshed, and he shall certainly repay. If he has not the means, then he shall be sold for his theft. If the thief is found alive in his hand, whether it is an ox or a donkey or a sheep, he repays double. When a man lets a field or a vineyard be grazed bare and lets loose his livestock, and it feeds in another man's field, he repays from the best of his own field and the best of his own vineyard. When fire breaks out and spreads to thorn bushes, so that stacked grain or standing grain or the field is consumed, he who kindled the fire shall certainly repay. When a man gives silver or goods to his neighbor to guard, and it is stolen out of the man's house, if the thief is found, he repays double. If the thief is not found, then the master of the house shall be brought before Elohim to see whether he has put his hand into his neighbor's goods. For every matter of transgression, for ox or donkey or sheep or garment, or for whatever is lost which another claims to be his, let the matter of them both come before Elohim, and whomever Elohim declares wrong repays double to his neighbor. When a man gives his neighbor a donkey, or ox, or sheep, or any beast to watch over, and it dies, or is injured, or is driven away while no one is looking, let an oath of Yah be between them both, that he has not put his hand into his neighbor's goods. And if the owner of it shall accept that, he does not repay. But if it is indeed stolen from him, he repays to his owner. If it is torn to pieces, then let him bring it for evidence. He does not repay what was torn. When a man borrows from his neighbor, and it is injured or dies while the owner of it is not present, he shall certainly repay. But if his owner was with it, he does not repay. If it was hired, he is entitled to the hire. When a man entices a maiden who is not engaged and lies with her, he shall certainly pay the bride price for her to be his wife. If her father absolutely refuses to give her to him, he pays according to the bride price of maidens. Do not allow the practicer of witchcraft to live. Anyone lying with a beast shall certainly be put to death. He who slaughters to an Elohim, except to Yah only, is put under the ban. Do not tread down a sojourner or oppress him, for you were sojourners in the land of Mitzrayim. Do not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If you do afflict them at all, if they cry out to me at all, I shall certainly hear their cry. And my wrath shall burn, and I shall kill you with the sword. Your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. If you do lend silver to any of my people, the poor among you, you are not to be like one that lends on interest to him. Do not lay interest on him. If you take your neighbor's garment as a pledge at all, you are to return it to him before the sun goes down. For that is his only covering. It is his garment for his skin. What does he sleep in? And it shall be that when he cries to me, I shall hear, for I show favor. Do not revile an Elohim, nor curse a ruler of your people. Do not delay in giving your harvest and your vintage. Give me the firstborn of your sons. Likewise, you are to do with your oxen, with your sheep. It is to be with its mother 7 days. On the 8th day you give it to me. And you are set apart men to me. You do not eat any meat which is torn to pieces in the field. You throw it to the dogs. Exodus 23. Do not bring a false report. Do not put your hand with the wrong to be a malicious witness. Do not follow a crowd to do evil, nor bear witness in strife, so as to turn aside after many, to turn aside what is right. And do not favor a poor man in his strife. When you meet your enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, you shall certainly return it to him. When you see the donkey of him who hates you lying under its burden, you shall refrain from leaving it to him. You shall certainly help him. Do not turn aside the right ruling of your poor in his strife. Keep yourself far from a false matter, and do not kill the innocent and the righteous, for I do not declare the wrong right. And do not take a bribe, for a bribe blinds the seen one and twists the words of the righteous. And do not oppress a sojourner, as you yourselves know the heart of a sojourner, because you were sojourners in the land of Mitzrayim. And for 6 years you are to sow your land, and gather its increase. But the 7th year you are to let it rest, and shall leave it, and the poor of your people shall eat it. And what they leave, the beasts of the field eat. Do the same with your vineyard and your olive yard. 6 days you are to do your work, and on the 7th day you rest, in order that your ox and your donkey might rest, and the son of your female servant and the sojourner be refreshed. And in all that I have said to you take heed, and make no mention of the name of other mighty ones. Let it not be heard from your mouth. 3 times a year you are to celebrate a festival to me. Guard the festival of Matzot. 7 days you eat unleavened bread, as I commanded you, at the time appointed to the new moon of Abib. For in it you came out of Mitzrayim, and you do not appear before me empty-handed. And the festival of harvest, the first fruits of your labor, which you have sown in the field, and the festival of the ingathering, at the outgoing of the year, when you have gathered in the fruit of your labors from the field. 3 times in the year all your males are to appear before the Master Yah. Do not slaughter the blood of my slaughtering with leavened bread, and the fat of my festival shall not remain until morning. Bring the first fruits of your land into the house of Yah your Elohim. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. See, I am sending a messenger before you to guard you in the way and bring you into the place which I have prepared. Be on guard before him and obey his voice. Do not rebel against him, for he is not going to pardon your transgression, for my name is in him. But if you diligently obey his voice, and shall do all that I speak, then I shall be an enemy to your enemies, and a distresser to those who distress you. For my messenger shall go before you, and shall bring you into the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I shall cut them off. Do not bow down to their mighty ones, nor serve them, nor do according to their works, but without fail overthrow them, and without fail break down their pillars. And you shall serve Yah your Elohim, and he shall bless your bread and your water, and I shall remove sickness from your midst. None shall miscarry or be barren in your land. I shall fill the number of your days. I shall send my fear before you, and cause confusion among all the people to whom you come, and make all your enemies turn their backs to you. And I shall send hornets before you, which shall drive out the Hivite and Canaanite and Hittite from before you. I shall not drive them out before you in 1 year, lest the land become a waste, and the beasts of the field become too numerous for you. Little by little I shall drive them out from before you, until you have increased, and you inherit the land. And I shall set your border from the Sea of Reeds to the Sea of the Philistines, and from the wilderness of the river, for I shall give you the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and you shall drive them out before you. Do not make a covenant with them, nor with their mighty ones. Let them not dwell in your land, lest they make you sin against me, when you serve their mighty ones, when it becomes a snare to you. Exodus 24. And to Moshe he said, Come up to Yah, you and Aharon, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and you shall bow yourselves from a distance. But Moshe shall draw near to Yah by himself, and let them not draw near, nor let the people go up with him. And Moshe came and related to all the people the words of Yah, and all the right rulings. And all the people answered with one voice, and said, All the words which Yah has spoken, we shall do. And Moshe wrote down all the words of Yah, and rose up early in the morning, and built a slaughter place at the foot of the mountain, and 12 standing columns for the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, and they offered ascending offerings, and slaughterings of peace offerings to Yah of bulls. And Moshe took half the blood, and put it in basins, and half the blood he sprinkled on the slaughter place. And he took the book of the covenant, and read in the hearing of the people, and they said, All that Yah has spoken we shall do and obey. And Moshe took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, See, the blood of the covenant which Yah has made with you concerning all these words. And Moshe went up, also Aharon, and Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw the Elohim of Israel, and under his feet, like a paved work of sapphire stone, and like the heavens for brightness. Yet he did not stretch out his hand against the chiefs of the children of Israel. And they saw Elohim, and they ate and drank. And Yah said to Moshe, Come up to me on the mountain, and be there, while I give you tablets of stone, and the Torah, and the command which I have written, to teach them. And Moshe arose with his assistant Yahushua, and Moshe went up to the mountain of Elohim. And he said to the elders, Wait here for us until we come back to you. And see, Aharon and Hur are with you. Whoever has matters, let him go to them. And Moshe went up into the mountain, and a cloud covered the mountain. And the esteem of Yah dwelt on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. And on the 7th day he called to Moshe out of the midst of the cloud. And the appearance of the esteem of Yah was like a consuming fire on top of the mountain, before the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moshe went into the midst of the cloud, and went up into the mountain. And it came to be that Moshe was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights.